Welcome to Netrush Report, the channel where we dive deep into the biggest tennis controversies, from historic matches to the dramatic moments you won't find anywhere else. Whether it's explosive player rivalries, emotional comebacks, or umpire conflicts, we've got it all covered. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a shocking tennis story. Let's get into it. The 2018 US Open final should have been a landmark moment for Naomi Osaka. The 20-year-old Japanese tennis prodigy had stormed through the tournament, defeating some of the biggest names in the sport. But as Osaka's opponent, Serena Williams, stood on the opposite side, this final was about more than just tennis. Serena was attempting to win her 24th Grand Slam title, which would tie the all-time record held by Margaret Court. But what unfolded during that final would make the tournament about something else entirely. The tension started building during the second set, when Carlos Ramos, the chair umpire, issued a coaching violation to Serena. Ramos believed that her coach, Patrick Mouratoglou, was giving her hand signals from the stands, which, under tennis rules, was considered coaching from the sidelines, something that's illegal during matches. Serena vehemently denied it, claiming that she would rather lose than cheat to win. This was just the beginning. The situation escalated quickly. After losing her service game, Serena smashed her racket in frustration, and Ramos handed her another code violation, this time for racket abuse. The penalty? A point taken away from her. At this point, Serena was already visibly upset, and the tension continued to rise in a heated exchange. Serena confronted Ramos, calling him a thief and a liar for what she perceived to be unfair treatment. The verbal barrage led to yet another penalty, this time a full-game penalty for verbal abuse. Serena had now been handed 3 violations in the span of one match, a rare occurrence in tennis. After her 6-2, 6-4 loss, Serena Williams held a press conference where she made a bold statement. She wasn't just angry at Ramos for his officiating. She believed she had been singled out because she was a woman. Serena argued that male players had used far more abusive language toward umpires and faced no consequences. According to her, the penalty was part of a bigger, systemic issue of sexism in tennis. But was she right? Enter S.L. Price, a celebrated sports journalist who came to Serena's defense. In an interview with ESPN, Price made an intriguing comparison to Jimmy Connors, a player known for his fiery temperament. Price recounted an infamous incident at the 1991 US Open, where Connors, in an outburst of frustration, repeatedly called the umpire an abortion. Remarkably, Connors faced no penalty for this outburst. No warning, no code violation, nothing. This led Price to ask the question, why was Serena penalized so harshly when male players like Connors had said much worse without facing consequences? Was there a double standard in the sport? Serena's supporters, including journalist S.L. Price, argued that her actions were rooted in a larger issue, the way women are treated in professional sports. Price pointed out that male players often get away with language and behavior that female players would never be allowed to exhibit without penalty. He claimed that Serena was making a stand for women's rights and that her behavior, while fiery, was not out of line when considering the context of what was happening on the court. But was Serena's reaction justified? Did she go too far in her confrontations with the umpire? And how do these incidents compare to past examples in tennis history? The controversy surrounding Serena's actions didn't end with Price's defense. Tennis legends Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic were also asked about the incident, and their responses painted a more nuanced picture. Federer, ever the diplomat, stated that Serena's behavior was somewhat understandable given the high emotions of the final. However, he admitted that she had crossed a line with her outbursts, especially with the thief and liar accusations toward the umpire. Federer also suggested that Ramos, as the umpire, could have handled the situation better by not pushing Serena to that breaking point. Novak Djokovic, who was also in New York that year, echoed Federer's sentiments. He acknowledged that Serena was under immense pressure and empathized with her emotional reaction. However, Djokovic also said that the umpire's decision had changed the course of the match, with his officiating playing a major role in Serena's eventual loss. For both Federer and Djokovic, The issue seemed to lie more with the way the situation was handled than with Serena's reaction itself. They both agreed that the umpire should have done more to de-escalate the situation, rather than contributing to the firestorm with increasingly harsh penalties. In the days following the match, the debate raged on. Was Serena's conduct an act of defiance in the face of systemic inequality, or was it a display of poor sportsmanship? Many of her supporters argued that the incident proved how far women still have to go in achieving equality in tennis. Male players, they argued, were often given far more leeway when it came to verbal outbursts and on-court behavior. But critics of Serena's actions pointed to the fact that she had lost control of her emotions during a crucial moment in the final. They argued that while her frustrations were valid, her behavior was inappropriate, especially in such a high-stakes setting. Ultimately, the 2018 U.S. Open final left a lasting mark on the sport. Naomi Osaka's victory was historic, but it was overshadowed by the controversy surrounding Serena's confrontation with the umpire. Serena's passionate defense of women's rights and her fiery response to the umpire created an ongoing conversation about sexism in tennis, one that continues to evolve with each new incident. The 2018 U.S. Open will always be remembered as the moment when Serena Williams stood up against what she perceived to be an injustice, even as the tennis world debated whether her actions were justified. And as for the infamous comparison to Jimmy Connors, it's a reminder that the world of tennis is full of contradictions, and that the rules seem to apply differently to different players. That's it for today's breakdown of the 2018 U.S. Open final and the Serena Williams umpire controversy that shook the tennis world. Do you agree with Serena's stance? Or do you think her actions went too far? Let us know in the comments below.